Welcome back to Gridiron 816, week 2. How we doing today, guys?
How are we doing, guys?
I'm
good
Benny.
week of football.
We got Miles today. We
What's
got
up?
David.
Hello.
Very good week of football.
Yeah,
guys.
did everybody have a good weekend? Everybody have a good football
Of
week?
course, yeah.
For sure.
Nice.
Watch
Let's
the games.
Let's
right
talk about
into
who
it.
didn't have a good weekend with
Yeah.
an injury.
let's talk about injuries.
So many this week. First, let's talk about who's totally out for the season. We have Saquon Barkley and Nick Bosa totally out.
Yeah, let's talk about real quick, just like right off the bat, what is that going to do for those team seasons?
He's definitely a force on the San Francisco defensive line, Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
That's a very big loss.
Right,
And just that is just two huge losses. Just because those guys, the weight that they pull for those teams, those are just monumental losses.
Right, and then you have Jimmy Garoppolo with Nick Bosa
There
off
you
of the
go.
49ers.
And we know firsthand how dangerous those dudes are, especially Nick Bosa.
And
I
Raheem,
mean, without Nick Bosa, that D line.
yeah,
Yeah.
might not be as formidable.
No.
Raheem Mostert, their running back, also out with
Yep.
an MCL sprain.
Yeah.
It's
What
just,
was it again?
MCL sprain,
yep.
just like super, just really, really scary. Yep, as we said, Saquon's out. Christian McCaffrey also out for the Panthers with a high ankle sprain. Like stars
4 to
this
6
week
weeks.
are going on the
Yeah,
IR.
crazy, and it was how it started happening early in these games, and then
Cortland Sutton for the Broncos and also Drew Lock for the Broncos are
Oh,
also
yeah,
out. Those
of
are two
course.
big pieces of their offense. Just looking from an AFC West standpoint,
Yep.
those guys losing
Yeah.
big weapons out there in
yeah,
Denver.
he got hit hard. I woke up a little late on Sunday, and I turned on the TV, and that was the very first thing that I
Oh,
saw
really?
was him get smacked.
I saw it
Yeah.
in real time as well, and my dad was just on the football. He was like, "Oh,
Yeah, I
ball's
woke
out!"
up a little late at like 1 o'clock.
My dad was like, "Ball's
Yeah.
out," and I said, "Oh, Locke's hurt." I saw him just immediately. He wasn't getting up after that really quickly off the turf, Drew Lock. So
Yeah.
it was
Is
just
there a verdict on him yet?
he looked to be like fine after the game. They said he might miss 2 to 4 weeks. I thought was the timetable on that injury. Not sure.
Actually looks like
2 to 6 weeks.
yeah.
So yeah.
2 to
around
6
there.
weeks. Wow. And then
What
what about George Kittle? What was his verdict?
From last week. Let's see. He
Yeah.
injured
they had
his
a-
knee. in
Yeah,
the
because
game.
before this week, they already had a couple injuries with George Kittle and Richard Sherman.
It's just their whole team is going down with
Yeah.
the injury bug. Pretty scary. Let's see, no timetable on that.
Oh, he was
Looks
just
like week
ruled out
2.
for this game. Okay. And then
Yeah.
I think
What a
Richard
surpri-
Sherman's was just a couple weeks too, I think.
Right.
Yeah, what a surprise, Tyrod Taylor. Right at the start of the game. Well, I guess he had the rib injury going into it.
Yeah.
But then, we got Justin Herbert playing against us. Injury going. That's an injury that was a surprise to us. I guess, there was the rib injury, but the pregame warm-ups is what got him with the chest injury.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
he
some
must
sort
have
of chest
re-aggravated
injury.
that,
Yeah.
that chest injury.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
He looked pretty uncomfortable on the sideline.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a surprise for the Chiefs because I know we game planned all week for Tyrod Taylor's offense and the Chargers. So
Yeah.
really just crazy week for the injury bug. You could almost count a player, a team at least going down. And San Francisco had guys in Nick Bosa and another defensive lineman went down and were carted off the field on consecutive plays. So
Yeah.
it was just
crazy. Crazy week in injuries. That's really the big headline of this week so far.
Yeah,
It's
seriously.
something that we just didn't see week 1, which is kind of weird. You thought you would have seen something like that come out in week 1 just because there wasn't a preseason or any training camp to get anybody ready for this season. So just like that's the headline. Injuries all the way. Just crazy. What are we getting into next, guys?
Nice. So I thought we'd do this little game. Benjamin here is a restaurant manager and he works a lot, and a lot of times he catches the Chiefs game, and a lot of times he just has to scarf down these highlights, the day of the podcast and stuff. So sometimes he doesn't have a lot of time to get right in to the stats and to the nitty gritty of the stats. So I thought we'd play a little game, kind of like a little this or that thing.
All right, let's
and just
get
see
it.
how he does with it right off
Oh,
the
yeah.
bat. All right, so who had more passing yards, Justin Herbert or Pat Mahomes?
I know that Patrick Mahomes had just around 300, right?
He did.
And so I don't remember if Justin Herbert passed for 300 yards this game. And so I'll just go out on a limb and say I'll give it to my boy Pat. But there's a feeling that it might be Justin. What is it?
It was Justin. I think Pat was 302, 303, and Justin Herbert was like 311, 312. Very close, very close.
Yeah.
Next one, more receiving yards, Tyreek Hill, Julio Jones.
Tyreek Hill had just around 100, right?
He did.
And then I just don't know about Julio Jones either. So again, I'll just give it to my boy Tyreek.
It was Tyreek.
Okay.
Julio did not have a very Julio day, and we'll actually get into that later. He actually only had like 2 catches for around 24 yards, and then Tyreek had 99 yards. All right, and then where is it? More completed passes, Kyler Murray, or Tom Brady?
Completed pass. Oh, I didn't actually. So, Kyler Murray.
It was Kyler Murray, yeah.
All right.
And yep.
Let's
and then
go.
Yep. And then last one for you.
I thought that was the last one. All right, keep going.
Who scored more points? And these are separate games. The Vikings or the Eagles?
Probably I'll say the. Was it the Eagles?
It was the Eagles.
Okay.
All right. Good job, Ben. What was that?
I think 3 for 4.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
Good job. Let's give a round of applause for Benjamin.
All right. We're through the injuries. We're through the trivial questions for Benny.
Oh, yes.
Let's get right into week 2. We're going to go into some of the games here, the scores, and then let's also talk about our predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we want to do something a little different. Just dive into a few games and spend a little more time on those.
And just really focus on those ones.
And so let's dive into the Chiefs game, of course.
For sure.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Just to start.
Final score on that one was 23-20.
3-point game.
Very nerve-wracking game, I would say.
Chiefs game's been starting off slow lately.
Yeah, that was the most nervous I have been since the Super Bowl when it comes to any aspect of my life.
6 points in the first half.
Yeah.
That's worrisome.
It was nerve-wracking. It was really scary. And, of course, we were talking about it earlier. A good quarterback came in that we did not prepare for.
Yeah, Justin Herbert. What a performance, really.
I think a lot of things...
well, Miles, you texted us simply just 2 words, not worried.
I'm just not worried.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes. I know that might seem stupid when these situations, when you're down double digits in like 6 straight games or whatever the stat is.
But it's been consistent.
I'm just not worried.
Extremely
I'm sorry.
consistent.
I just knew deep down we were going to win that game. But a lot of things we could have helped ourselves with a ton of offensive penalties. Tons of offensive penalties. That was a killer in this game.
Yeah.
I think we could have wrapped it up early. I think we could have wrapped it up in regulation hadn't it been for a couple offensive penalties on that final drive where we had to settle for a field goal to tie. But yeah, just kind of shooting ourselves in the foot early this season, but I think we'll be off to a good start. Positives in this game, Willie Snead is a gamer. He has 2 picks in 2 consecutive weeks.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's looking good as a rookie. Definitely a good late-round selection by Veach and the boys up there in the front office, so that was awesome. What did you see this week out of the boys?
Yeah, once again, we weren't worried per se, but let's talk about some of the problems we had for sure.
A few bitter things.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
And I texted Miles. I said we gotta quit giving the ball to 25. That came very apparent near the halftime that he was just not having the day that he was last week.
Right.
But
I think week 1 gave us a lot of hope. And I do think that he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think he can be great. I just think Nick Bosa and Melvin Ingram had great games yesterday.
For sure.
And
the whole defense had a great game.
Joey Bosa, I'm sorry. Joey Bosa was putting the pressure on us all day. And,
yeah, definitely.
And then let's see. we're obviously missing Frank Clark, and that was we were missing him.
That was big.
We missed him.
He is out with an
Could have
illness,
helped.
which is similar because he was out with an illness a couple weeks last season. So
Yep.
it might be just like a stomach bug. Who knows? At least it's not an injury. That's all. I'm glad it's just not an injury or anything like that.
Yep.
I loved.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just love to see Patrick running on third down when he needs to, and and that's been much more apparent the latter half of last season and this season for sure. Just knowing when to go, not getting hurt. He just on multiple third downs in this game just knew that there was nothing out there, didn't need to risk a turnover, and just got the yards with his legs, and it's more than you can ask for from your starting quarterback for sure.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
I think our defense just needs to tighten up a little, especially we have the Ravens next week, and our defense really is gonna need to be on the top of our game. We missed a lot of easy tackles, I feel like, especially in guys like Jones as well. And we didn't have the Chargers offense didn't have negative yardage offensive play until the second half.
Right.
And it really did feel like every time they were running the ball, they were getting like around 5-6 yards, and I was really getting sick of it. But that kid Justin Herbert, he's gonna be really good for that organization.
Better than
I think so
I
too.
think Tyrod
credit
Taylor is a good quarterback, but I think he might have just lost his job. And there's going to be a lot of legendary quarterback or matchups between Mahomes and Herbert. But at the end of the day, we did what we've been doing best these past couple years, and that's coming in clutch when we really need to.
Yeah.
How about that?
There's a big shining star of this game.
For sure. How about that absolute bomb that Patrick Mahomes threw to Tyreek Hill late in the game? Just on the run, throwing to the right. I don't think any other
redemption catch.
Any other quarterback in the NFL makes that throw. Tyreek Hill tumbling into the end zone. It was quite something to see. He actually took his helmet off right after the touchdown.
That could have really cost us.
We're gonna see. Do you think we'll see a lot of that this year? I mean, he has to get so many warnings about the scores.
I don't think he'll do that again.
He keeps you on the edge of your seat, for sure.
But that really could have cost us because we wouldn't have been able to go for that 2-point conversion had they thrown the flag for that. So that's something that we have to think about. I'm sure he would have heard something, after that game about being disciplined enough to keep the helmet on until you get to the sideline. I don't think he'll do that again this season, but that could have been big. But let's talk about that 2-point conversion, that catch by McCole Hardman. That is something that is being a little overlooked. That was in the fingertips. I don't know how he caught that ball because that was a laser by Mahomes. And
you're finding him, the needle in the haystack.
It was just an excellent throw, excellent catch. I don't know how he made that catch. So I thought that was a little bit overlooked on Sunday Night Football. They didn't actually replay that 2-point conversion, so that was insane.
How about Harrison Butker?
Man,
I don't know what to say.
Clutch
kicking. It's almost like Mariano Rivera pitching late in the game for the Yankees. Like he's gonna close it down. This is a clutch kicker. He made 2 straight 58-yard field goals at the end.
Crazy.
He made a
53-yarder.
54-yarder before that, and then also another 58-yarder before that earlier in the game.
Yep, that's what you call a big dick move.
It's insane. He actually worked on that in the offseason, getting more length from his on his long ball, and it's just like we're an elite team and we also have an elite kicker. It's kind of daunting for teams to look at that and say, oh wow, their special teams is also something to look out for too. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Saved our game. Great divisional win. That means Andy Reid is now 31-6 in divisional play coaching the Kansas City Chiefs. That is a stretch that I think is unprecedented, even rivaling anything Bill Belichick has done up in New England. That is a heck of a divisional record.
How about that anti-fog technology?
I think that's just the low humidity out there in Los Angeles.
You're probably right.
Great game, great divisional win, close game. I think we're going to be much better next week. I don't think it'll come down to overtime or anything like that. So, really fun. Great way to open the stadium out there.
Really great game.
I'm
glad it was a nail biter. Even though I guess the first half always could go quicker than it was, but it was still all around a great game because of that second half.
What game do you want to talk about now, Dave?
Oh man, let's see.
We got Denver-Pittsburgh. That was a fun one. That was also a noon game.
Oh yeah.
Dallas-Falcons. I definitely want to talk about that one at
some
some point today.
Let's get into that one.
Dallas-Falcons.
That was a crazy one.
For sure.
All right.
Final score, 40 Cowboys, 39 Falcons. Just a score fest from the word go, turnovers as well. Just a really crazy game. I was going in and out of the game because that game was finishing up as the Chiefs game was starting. So just like insane. Dak Prescott throwing for 450 yards. That's
Crazy.
ridiculous.
That is insane.
That's ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Ezekiel Elliott doing Zeke things. He ran for 89 yards and a touchdown, despite not chunks of yards as he goes. Just everything went kind of right for the Cowboys at the end of that game. It started off horribly. They were down 29-10. They were down, I believe, 20-0 in points in that game. It was just like ridiculous that they came all the way back and won that game on. You just never see onside kicks recovered, and just the Falcons' lack of discipline, because you can jump on that football. It doesn't have to travel 10 yards. If you're the defensive team, you can jump on that football from the word go. I just don't know. I don't understand why those players were standing around that football. Lots to get into in that game. What do you think?
Yeah. I think I was thinking that the Atlanta offense stayed consistent. I think really all they could have done was score some touchdowns where they scored some field goals. But I thought, they scored on most of their drives, I think. And then the Atlanta defense started out really great. And then just near halftime, they just started to fall apart. And there was some mistakes that killed Atlanta. In the third quarter, Julio dropped a beautiful wildcat pass from Russell Gage.
What a pass that was.
It really just went right through his hands, and the score would have been 36-17 right there. And then on the other side of the ball, though, Amari Cooper had a great one-handed catch in this game.
He was overthrown. Yeah. I thought that was going to be just overthrown, and somehow he just got those fingertips extended and brought that thing in. That was one of the best catches. Probably actually the best catch I've seen all season from Amari Cooper right there. That was a great, great catch. Ezekiel Elliott, like I said, he had his one touchdown. The Falcons, you think they want to see a little bit more from Todd Gurley. He only had 60 yards, I believe, in that game. Calvin Ridley, though, looking like a beast.
Great game.
4 touchdowns so far this season. He had 2 touchdowns in this game, 109 yards.
Yeah, with Todd Gurley, they're obviously giving him the opportunity. 21 carries. He's just not getting it done,
right.
And, the last year, or the past couple years in L.A. haven't been as strong as he has been, So I had a feeling he wasn't going to be amazing at Atlanta, but I like Todd Gurley, and I hope he pulls it together for sure.
I just that was almost like a death sentence there for the Dallas Cowboys going 0-2. As we know, we talked about it last season. You only have a 12% chance of making the playoffs when you go 0-2. As a fan of football who does not like the Dallas Cowboys,
Did you say 12% chance?
That's what happens if you go 0-2. You have a 12% chance of making the playoffs. So Dallas avoiding a near-death sentence for their season. Houston falling to 0-2. So that's why I think Deshaun Watson was looking the way he did Sunday, knowing now once you go 0-2, every snap counts, every game counts.
Yeah,
it's just crazy.
It is. I've said it many times. It is crazy how well that offense is, because Matt Ryan clicks with his receivers, and their defense just needs to pull it together. But we have to give credit to the Cowboys,
Greg Zuerlein, I've never seen an onside kick like that. Also, it was just spinning like a top and just kept going and going. I don't know. It must have mesmerized the Falcons players, because they were like hypnotized. They were like, "What is this?" And they just did not seem to feel any urgency to jump on that football to end that game, and they let him march right down the field.
Clutch kicker.
He is good. He got that field goal too. That wasn't a really a gimme kick either.
Does this game change your guys' opinions about what you had of week 1 about the Falcons or the Cowboys, particularly the Falcons?
Well, I think the Cowboys. Last week I definitely thought that maybe they weren't going to be all that great this year, but a comeback like that, it gives you hope. But who knows? We'll just have to see. We'll have to see if it was more of the Cowboys being that team. Are they going to be that team? Are they going to be like the Chiefs? or in all these comeback situations, or was it really just the Falcons' defense just really falling apart?
I think it must have been that because the Cowboys turned that ball over 3 times within. I don't remember what the time. It was like within 2 minutes they turned the ball over 3 times. It was like unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's no way they should have been let back into that game. Falcons blowing leads. In recent history, it's pretty sad to see if you're a Falcons fan.
Yep.
So that was a crazy game. Really fun to watch the end of that game.
Fun to watch, for sure.
Great game.
Let's see. And then you mentioned the Pittsburgh-Denver game.
For sure.
We can get into that. That was a good game. It seemed at times that it was going to be one-sided, and then it became a close game at a few different periods.
I just kept saying to myself
in the game.
I just kept saying to myself as that game progressed, Denver somehow is still in this football game. As the time kept clicking off the clock, I didn't understand. Vic Fangio making mistakes early in that game, going for a field goal at midfield, giving Ben Roethlisberger back the football.
Yep.
Just crazy things. Vic Fangio is just not a smart coach from what I've seen. The first 2 weeks I've watched both Broncos games this year.
Yeah.
He's made some bonehead decisions.
And Jeff Driscoll had the opportunities to carry that team to a win. And he had the pieces, and he played well. A lot of times he looked messy, but a lot of times it did look like he had his stuff together. And he's been in the league for a few years, and I think, if he, I think this week it was just about not having the reps.
Yep.
But even not being comfortable, he played all right,
For sure.
And they could have won that game, and
Final score 21-26, Broncos falling in that game. Ben
Close game.
Roethlisberger letting it fly early this season. He had a 311 yards for 2 touchdowns. 1 interception. Looked like it kind of slipped out of his hands. I don't think that was really his fault. It just kind of slipped. James Conner going over the 100-yard mark in this game, averaging 6.6 yards per carry and a touchdown.
I like
Their
that.
rookie Chase Claypool had a massive touchdown in this game.
Yeah, Roethlisberger is really clicking with his receivers, including Smith-Schuster and Claypool. Really, yeah.
They're looking really elite. I was actually hoping they would maybe fall late in this game only because they're looking elite. I don't want to see any AFC team, go too far undefeated. Just because they're competing with the Chiefs. But just only because I don't see the Broncos as a threat. They did lose Drew Lock in this game, as we mentioned earlier. Shoulder injury. Looked awkward, him going down. You hope for him for a speedy recovery.
It was a hard hit, yep. And then you can definitely tell the Steelers are kind of the thorn in the side to the Ravens, like the Raiders are to the Chiefs right now,
Yep, just kind of bugging you.
Yep. All right. Good game.
Fun game.
Oh, yeah. Do we want to get into the scores of these other games? Maybe throw in some stuff about them.
Do you want to talk about the Patriots game?
Yeah, let's go to
Definitely.
that one. Yeah,
Sunday
that was
Night
a good
Football.
game. Good game. I got it, and right off the bat, I know they lost, but I got to give it to Cam Newton because I feel like these past few years in Carolina, especially really since their Super Bowl loss, I think everybody has kind of counted him out a little bit, But he hasn't played all that well, But I really feel like these 2 weeks, it seems like he has found his home,
Yeah,
and I think
definitely.
he has the right supporting characters, including Edelman and Burkhead. And I think he has the opportunity to do great things in New England. It was a close game, and
Yeah, New England falling in that game 30-35 to the Seattle Seahawks. Cam Newton.
Throwing for almost 400 yards.
Exactly. He almost hit 400 yards in that game. Julian Edelman, like we said, I said he needed to target Julian Edelman a little more this week, and boy did he.
Yep.
He had 179 yards receiving, averaging 22.4 yards
2
per
rushing
catch.
touchdowns.
Just breaking off huge chunks per catch. They were looking really, really good in this game. Early, started off with a pick 6. McCourty ran that back early in this game.
That was nice.
It was a good start for
That
New
was
England in
nice.
this game. Russell Wilson, his accuracy is just blowing my mind in these first 2 weeks. I believe he only has 11 incomplete passes, and he has 9 passing touchdowns.
Crazy.
That's unbelievable.
Yep. Insane.
He went 21 of 28 for 288 yards, 5 touchdowns, did have an interception. Chris Carson running for 72 yards in this game. DK Metcalf, like I said, the dude's a gamer. Almost got to 100 yards, 92 yards on 4 receptions. But he's breaking off massive chunks per catch, 23 yards. each time he catches the football, dangerous guy
Yep.
to have on your football team. Really entertaining game. Patriots lose it on a goal line run in
Yep.
this one.
Yep, tripping over your own man.
Yep.
Yep. That defense is dangerous though in Seattle. Once again, I love seeing Jamal Adams in Seattle. It's really nice to see him not have to carry an entire defense, and I
Like
think
in
that
New
really
York.
makes him shine more.
For sure.
Yep. And I think last week and this week, oh no, okay. So I thought, so Ugo, what's his name? 28 led with tackles this week. Okay. And then Jamal Adams led last week. Cool.
David Moore for the Seahawks had a wonderful catch on a deep throw by Russell Wilson. Just barely got his right foot inbounds. They called it a touchdown on the field. It was really good by the ref actually to see that. He did get that foot inbounds. It was a remarkable touchdown catch.
Yep.
I suggest you go check that out. The highlights of this game are really, really, really fun to watch.
Oh,
really
yeah.
good
game.
good slate for Sunday Night Football, starting off
For
with two
sure.
really, really good games next week. They have a really good matchup coming up as well. Sunday Night Football is always fun to watch.
Yeah, let's talk about the upset from the Raiders against the Saints.
That just happened.
Just happened.
Right,
We're
fresh off
definitely
the
a little
boat.
worried here in Kansas City. But I think we talked about it. Obviously we are not going to discredit the Raiders. They played a good game. But what'd you say, 179 yards? 117 yards and penalties?
129 against the Saints.
129.
It just seems like the Saints just
The
get
Saints, yeah.
I know something's fucking.
they get it from the refs every week, it seems, and it's like, what is the problem? I saw some calls late in that game. There's a pass interference call against Janoris Jenkins that was very, very debatable. It would have caused, and it was an overthrown ball too, it would have caused the Raiders to punt. Saints get that ball back and have a chance to tie the game at the end of the game, and I believe Drew Brees 100% goes and drives down the field and does that. But it's just crazy week. Week 2 has been a wild week. Raiders beat the Saints. And who expected that? No one really picked that to happen. I believe the Raiders scored on 6 of their 7 possessions, so that's kind of uncharacteristic for the Raiders, but they did put up 30 points last week. I was wrong in saying that they wouldn't put up that many points again, and here they go.
Yep.
They put up
my.
34 right in my face, so
Yep.
I'm not pretending to be the authority on NFL football here, but
Right.
just a shocker of a
Yeah,
game.
everybody's shocked about it, yep.
Right, yeah, so this is one of our picks we got wrong. What else do we have?
Yeah, I was thinking we could go through and talk about our picks.
Let's take a look at the records here.
Yeah, so
Who's in the lead right now in the picks?
So the standings are Miles and Benny were 11-5, and I was 13-3.
So this man is
On the
leading the
lead?
pack.
Yeah.
David is leading the pack early in the picks.
Miles, the games that Miles got wrong were the Los Angeles Rams versus the Philly game. He picked the Eagles.
I did.
Any reaction to that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah.
Get him next week, Philadelphia. I don't know.
The Minnesota versus the Indianapolis game.
I don't know. I thought Minnesota's defense was a little better than that. That's
Yep.
all I gotta say.
We all got the Tampa Bay versus the Carolina game wrong.
Just we want to see old Tommy go to 0.
Yeah.
That's all that
Might
was.
have some bias there.
For sure.
We all got the Cincinnati versus Cleveland game wrong.
That shocked me.
Yeah.
I
It became a close game. You thought maybe Joe Burrow could maybe pull it
He
off.
set the record for passing completions as a rookie in an NFL game with a 61, I believe. Kid throws the ball 61 times in
Oh,
a
wow.
game.
Yeah, and I
This is
think
crazy.
the duo of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt just had a fantastic day.
They might be the
Yeah.
best 1-2 punch in
Yep,
football
that's
in
exactly
terms of
what-
running
I
backs.
have that written down, my friend. Yep. And then let's see. And then we all got last one for Miles. We all got the Las Vegas versus New Orleans game.
Like we,
And then as we just said, the Tampa Bay versus Carolina, Cincinnati versus Cleveland, Las Vegas versus New Orleans were the ones that I got wrong. And then Benjamin, Tampa Bay versus Carolina, as we just said. Cincinnati versus Cleveland, as we just said. Benjamin got Jacksonville versus Tennessee wrong. Anything on that? It was a close game.
Yeah,
33 to 30.
I just really wasn't thinking about the run offense of the Titans.
Derrick
Um,
Henry.
And really, he didn't have that great of a game. He didn't. He wasn't all Derrick Henry it up.
Yeah,
in
no,
that
it's
game.
definitely not a surprise to me that the Titans pulled it off.
Yeah.
It was more of a throw out there prediction. I'll say that.
Ryan Tannehill had a great game though.
For sure.
Yep.
Who expected the Bears to come out 2-0? I did not. I did not at all. They're hanging with Trubisky, it seems, in quarterback, and he's trying to fight for that starting job out there.
Yep. And then
Still.
Ben, you also got Minnesota versus Indianapolis strong and Las Vegas versus New Orleans.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Picks are going excellent so far.
Yeah,
We don't have losing records, which is nice.
Let's go through some of these scores real quick.
That Bills-Dolphins game was a close one.
Yep.
They maintained that lead in the AFC East.
That was 31-28 on that one, right?
Josh Allen had a day.
Yeah.
Some deep balls. Was running all over the place. He actually scored 44 fantasy points on my bench, which was kind of disappointing. But who isn't going to start Lamar Jackson over Josh Allen? He just had
And
a
that
day.
game wasn't all that close the whole time,
For sure.
right?
They
In
just the
beginning of
Dolphins
the
came
game,
back.
Yeah.
The Dolphins kind of came back there at the end.
Let's
and
see.
Gave them a run for their money.
Yep. Bears 17-13 over the Giants. Talked about that a little
The Packers
bit.
looking like world beaters coming out. They scored 42 points against the Lions. It is the Lions, but
42.
anytime-
How many
21.
points are they going to score this year?
who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
man.
How many points are they going to
Packers
score
are-
next week?
Yeah.
It's
The
scary.
Packers are looking great,
It's
man.
scary to see.
Let's see. Washington versus the Cardinals. What was that? 30-15. Kyler Murray looked great.
He's running all over the place.
Yep. I mean, having Hopkins and having Larry Fitzgerald. One, we know that Hopkins is playing a little better, but just having Larry Fitzgerald there is just like a legend and
Right.
And
Just-
a great piece to
Just-
have to fall back on.
exactly.
Sure hands. That guy's going to catch the football.
Yep.
Yeah,
When you
I do
throw it.
have hope for the Cardinals this
They
year,
look
definitely.
100% better than they did last season. They just
Yeah.
No,
off
yeah,
the bat.
they did.
They look so much
Yep.
better than they did last
Yep.
season. They're off to a 2-0 start, as good as you can ask
Yep.
for. No one expected that coming out. Really, really fun week of football to watch.
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Just really, really exciting.
All right, do we want to get into week 2 here?
Yeah.
Maybe
Or,
make
sorry,
some-
week 3.
Makes it
Week 3, yeah. Week 3 already. Can we
Week
believe
3.
it,
We're
boys?
cooking through here.
All right, let's start off.
First game of the week.
Dolphins, Jaguars.
Battle of
I'm
Florida.
going to go with probably. I'm going to go with Jaguars on this
I'm
one.
going to go Miami Dolphins.
I'm going to go the Jaguars.
49ers, Giants. I'm going to say 40. Or you know what? I'm going to say 49ers.
Giants. Just because 49ers are so much... They're so injured.
They are very hurt
I'm
right
going to go
now.
the 49ers.
Oh!
I'm still going to
They
say
can do
49ers.
They can do
I'm
it.
going with the Giants.
We have the Washington and Browns. We had a pull off from Browns this week.
I'm going with the Browns. They looked strong in that Thursday night game. Better
I'll
than
say
I
Browns
thought.
as well.
I'll go Washington.
Okay. Let's go Bengals, Eagles. I will say the Eagles.
Bengals.
I'm going to go the Eagles.
All right. Raiders, Patriots. I'm going to say Patriots on that one.
Patriots.
I'm going to go the Patriots.
All right, we swept on that.
That's what we hope, folks.
Bears, Falcons. We're looking at a 2-0 from the Bears. And so I'm going to say the Bears on this one.
I'm going to say the Falcons.
I'm going to say the Falcons.
All right. Rams, Bills.
Bills. Josh Allen.
I'm going to say Rams.
Really good.
I'm
this
going to go the
season.
Rams.
Texans, Steelers. I'll say Texans.
They haven't won a game this season. I'm going with Pittsburgh. Their defense looks scary.
I'm going to go with Texans, hoping to win their first game.
All right. Titans, Vikings.
I'm going to go with the Titans.
I will also go with Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans
Yep.
for that game.
You know, I'll go with the
Just because the Vikings disappointed me so
Titans
much
for
this
you.
last
Yeah,
week.
Titans.
Vikings made me mad.
Panthers, Chargers. I'll say Chargers.
I'm going to go with the Chargers, too. It's
I mean,
scary.
Justin Herbert looked good, man,
Yeah,
and I
he did.
think they should keep him in. I'm going with the Chargers.
If they keep him in, they
Yep.
will definitely win that game.
Jets, Colts. I think the Colts will pull it off.
I'm
Yeah.
going the Colts.
I'll go, we swept the Colts. Yeah, they're going to win that game.
Cowboys, Seahawks.
That'll be a good game.
That's an interesting one, right?
I don't think the Cowboys,
Two really high scores.
I think the Seahawks will win that game actually handily. I think they don't make the mistakes that
Yep.
the Falcons make in that game, and they actually win that game by a pretty big,
Yep.
big.
So
big margin.
Seahawks.
Yep,
I'll say Seahawks.
Seahawks for sure.
Cool.
Lions, Cardinals. I'll say Cardinals.
I'm gonna go with the Lions actually. Even though the Cardinals look so good, I think the Lions are gonna give them a bit of trouble. Their run D's actually been really good this season.
All right.
I want to go with the Cardinals.
Buccaneers Broncos. I'll say Buccaneers.
This is an exciting game because this is the first game that Denver gets to have fans in the stands. I think that might give Tommy a little trouble, but I will actually say the Buccaneers still pull that one out.
Buccaneers for sure.
All right. Packers Saints is going to be a really good one.
That is going to be a fun game.
I'm going to go with the Packers. The Saints did not look great tonight.
They really did.
I think the Saints are going to win that game because they're pissed off about how this game went. They did not expect to go into Las Vegas and lose to the Raiders.
Coming off a loss from the Raiders, I think they'll lose this game. I think it'll be the Packers.
And the Monday night game to finish off the week?
We have the Chiefs, Ravens.
This is going to be a
we're all
good
going.
game.
I'm going to go with the
Chiefs.
Ravens.
Obviously, you're going with the Ravens.
We're all
Chiefs.
going Chiefs. I think
No
it's
way.
gonna. I do think it's gonna be our hardest game of the year. I think it's
All
gonna
year?
Be, I think it's gonna be the toughest.
We
game of the
do
year.
play New Orleans this year.
So did
I
the
mean,
Raiders.
the Raiders. Yeah,
Hey,
They
okay.
didn't look
But
good.
we
I
played
think
them
Lamar
late.
Jackson is, besides Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson is the scariest player in the NFL. And when he runs, dude, there's nothing like it, and it's hard to stop.
Yeah.
I think we can
And
do
his
it.
pass
We've done it
offense is
2
just
years in a
getting
row
better.
now.
I think
We've
we
done
can
it
get
2
him
years
again.
in a row now. I think we can get him again. But yeah, I think it's going to be the hardest game of the regular season.
All right, I like that. Where you're coming from. It's definitely going to be something we got to get up for. That defense needs to show up for that
Yep.
game for sure. Like it's a divisional game. I know Andy gets some definite motivation out of his players. Like we said, 31-6 his divisional record here in Kansas City. He obviously knows how to get something out of his players for those games. He needs to do the same thing this week, just like it's a divisional game. This is a
Yeah.
big game. You need to play up this week.
Nice.
Against the Ravens. Really exciting.
Yeah.
And it's Monday Night Football. Only game on that day.
Yep.
Everyone's going to be
Yeah.
watching that game.
Yep.
Exciting.
Cool. Do we want to go back real quick and do player awards?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's
real
fun
quick.
stuff.
Player of the week. For me, how about you go first? Because I know you already said what yours was.
I definitely am going to go with Harrison Butker.
Yep.
I don't think any other kicker, like I said, makes 3 50-plus kicks in a game, and making 2 at the end when you get
Yeah.
iced by the other
Crazy.
team, just
I didn't think they were going to
clutch.
ice him. I thought they're just going to let him go.
Insanely clutch. Awesome week.
I'm going to go Russ again. I know someone said Russell Wilson last week. But he's just gold. I think he is the front runner for MVP right now, and he just looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
11 incompletions. That's just ridiculous.
You know, I really didn't want to give it to a Chief, but I think I am just going to give it to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
I was
comeback man, comeback kid.
Comeback kid. So just being under pressure, I know this was a game that we didn't expect him to be in that kind of situation, right? You know, we really didn't think that it was going to be this, you know, trailing by this much, especially 6 points in the first half. But, you know, I think that they treat every game the same, no matter who they're playing, no matter what if it's a playoffs, regular season. And so I think they had that same pressure. And I'm glad that they always have that mindset, that no matter what game it is and they're down.
Well, they've been down as far as you can go. We were all 3 at the Houston Texans Chiefs divisional playoff game, and we witnessed with our very 2 eyes.
Yep.
Those
And we were all scared to death,
yes,
ladies and gentlemen.
but they came all the way back, and so there's no game with that.
Yep.
The Chiefs are out with this guy, so
Yep.
it's really exciting. Good pick, Ben.
And then disappointment. I gotta go Edwards-Helaire.
I will also
Yeah.
go with Clyde's
It was,
Edwards-Helaire.
and once again, we'll reiterate that we think he can come back from this. You know, we still think he's gonna be great.
Definitely.
And then I also thought that defense, but that's the thing. He's young. He's a rookie. He needs to work on what to do with these tougher defenses. You know,
Right, definitely.
We're gonna be facing a lot of tough defenses, including one next week, and he just needs to.
Show up. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
my pick has got to be Julio Jones. He just didn't have his week. I think you said he had like 24 yards. Just not something you see from a guy who's just cash money out there making catches. Good for at least 70, 75 yards per game. So that was my pick this week.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. I think that's all we got for today. Benny, Miles, and David, we're signing off today.
Have an excellent week, Kansas City.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Gridiron
guys.
816. We'll see you next week.
And the world.